Of course, we know that with the Death Star being minutes away from annihilating the moon of Yavin 4 and the rebel base with it, Tarkin remained certain that the battle station was invulnerable as they quickly approached total victory against the rebellion. Despite being approached by an Imperial Operations Lieutenant who warned the Grand Moff of the potential danger in the rebel attack, Tarkin refused to evacuate in what he believed was their moment of triumph. In Tarkin's mind, even then, it was laughable to believe that the remaining rebel starfighters could hurt the Death Star, let alone destroy it. Given these final scenes from A New Hope, one might think that Tarkin died on board the Death Star without ever knowing the true danger present in the rebel assault. But through the scenes outlined in the novel Death Star, we know that Tarkin was made aware of the true rebel attack plan, and see his reaction to it only seconds before the Death Star would be destroyed. In this video expose, I will describe Tarkin's final thoughts on board the Death Star, not just after Luke fired his Proton Torpedoes, but as he recognized they were literally traveling down the auxiliary heat shaft towards the reactor. Although Tarkin was initially certain that Vader would make quick work of what rebel starfighters remained in the Battle of Yavin, he eventually came to realize that one of the fighters succeeded in some way. It wasn't the case that Tarkin merely waited for the rebel base to enter firing range, and had no knowledge of the threat that actually existed with the rebellion's fighters. In fact, some portion of Tarkin had to know that the destruction of the battle station was imminent following Luke's final trench run. As he was observing the Battle of Yavin, Admiral Mahdi informed Tarkin of exactly what happened, and how it endangered the Death Star. Panicked, Mahdi told the Grand Moff, screaming it for all to hear, that Proton Torpedoes were fired down a heat shaft and were heading towards the battle station's reactor. Leaving little doubt as to what would happen next, Mahdi then exclaimed that the reactor was going to explode. Although the final shot of Tarkin in A New Hope is one of calm, he knew exactly what was happening, and was fully aware that torpedoes were quickly approaching the reactor core of the Death Star, intent on causing its destruction. And yet, while I'm certain Tarkin had to know that there was no stopping the coming annihilation of the battle station, he didn't allow himself to give into panic like Mahdi did, and held on to his decades-long belief that the Death Star was unbeatable and invincible. In his final moments, as the Proton Torpedoes raced towards the core, Tarkin assured himself that all would be well, repeating in his thoughts that it was unthinkable the station could be defeated by anything. But as the scene plays out in Death Star, each time Tarkin assures himself that destruction is unthinkable, the idea becomes clearer in his mind each time. And therefore, at some level, Tarkin must have died knowing the truth. The Death Star would be destroyed, and he with it. So there we have it, Tarkin's final thoughts after Luke fired his Proton Torpedoes. We love making these videos, so why not subscribe for more fun Star Wars theories and discussions? Also, if you enjoyed the video, think about giving a like or leaving a comment. Or perhaps follow us on Twitter at SWReadingClub for updates regarding the channel. Or support the channel through Patreon for access to exclusive rewards and discussions. If not for me, for the impossible.